You're just about to start a new Minecraft world. Maybe it's a solo, maybe it's a server, and you know exactly what you want from it, but you need to find the best seed. I'm going to show you how. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance. Today, we're going to talk about how to get the very best seed for your Minecraft survival world. Now, the best seed means something different to different people. Maybe you want really awesome biome diversity and a fantastic landscape. Maybe you want things that you can make farms out of really close by, like monuments, and maybe you want the stronghold close, or maybe you want a mansion right on your front doorstep. I don't know, and that is a completely personal thing. I've done a seed review series, and you can see that in the description below. There's a link there, and you can perhaps follow one of those tutorials and see what you like about those. Or if you want a completely flat world, like this one, this is my walkabout world, I just wanted it flat and green so as I could build whatever I wanted. That is also a possibility. Now, there is another way of getting a really great seed. It takes a little bit more research, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. When I am looking for the very best seed, I jump to two different tools. One of them is mineatlas.com and the other one is Chunkbase. Both of these tools allow you to get yourself a random seed and just investigate it from a very high bird's eye view. Now, the first one of these I'm going to talk about is MineAtlas. Now, there are some pluses and some minus for MineAtlas. MineAtlas will only work for Java, so if you're playing on Bedrock, this one is no good for you. But don't worry, I have got something for you in a moment. This is what you'll see when you put in mineatlas.com. And if you're looking for a random seed, or you have a specific seed that you want to investigate, you can do both from this screen. Put in the standard seed if you want to see what a seed that you've been given looks like. Put it in this here and click set seed. However, if you want a random seed, just hit this random seed button right here, and that will generate literally a random seed number. If you want to zoom out, click out this minus, and it will slowly bring in all of that area. And you can see up here we're up to 6,000 in each direction in a great square, with you spawning in right there in the middle. That is the spawn point of the world, not just 0, 0. This also gives you the potential positions of villages. So click this, it will tell you where it may spawn a village in. It will tell you where it may spawn in a jungle temple. You notice it doesn't want to spawn a jungle temple in this one at all, which is interesting. Witch huts, that's where you might find witch huts. And if you put your mouse over these different areas, you can see there is a mesa there, there is a mesa plateau, there is a mushroom island, and you can work out exactly where the different biomes are, and you can make a decision as to whether that is for you. If you don't like it, hit random, and it will generate you a brand new one, and you can pull out until you get a much larger view. Now, the one thing about MineAtlas is it can be a bit slow to respond, no matter how fast your internet connection is, but it will come. Don't panic. So if you want something with ice spikes quite close by, you want a nice snowy area there, you want something with a mesa, you could use this one here. That's a mushroom island that's actually not an island, for example, and just keep clicking through these random maps until you find one that is actually quite interesting. Now, another negative for MineAtlas is that it doesn't give much detail on what the oceans. It's either an ocean or a deep ocean. Let's jump over to Chunkbase and see what the difference is. Now, when we were looking for the seed for Legacy SMP, and the playlist for Legacy is in the description below, we did use MineAtlas because we wanted a graphical representation of the land, and the different types of seas weren't quite so important. However, if you want to know whether or not a sea is lukewarm or warm or cold or whatever, you need to come to Chunkbase because it gives you far more information. So for example here, deep lukewarm ocean is right there. You'd know this because it has 114 and above ratings. Specifically, MineAtlas only does for 1.8, so it doesn't differentiate the oceans in the same way. You can, however, change all of these different areas from Java to Bedrock if you'd like to do Bedrock, but it doesn't do Bamboo Jumbo specifically, and also Legacy Console as well if that's something that you're working on. It has got all of those benefits over and above MineAtlas, and it works in exactly the same way. Get here a random seed, click it, you'll notice the seed number changes, click find biomes, and it loads in. Now you'll see also this loads in much quicker than Mine Atlas does. For some reason it just knows the things far better, but graphically it's maybe not quite as striking as you would have thought with Mine Atlas. It's not quite as good. The other advantage of chunk base is you can scroll around really simply. Mine Atlas, you can do this, but it also, again, each of the new chunks takes just that little bit longer to load in. As mentioned before, Mine Atlas does show you exactly where you spawn in on the world spawn point, but it doesn't allow you to filter anything, and it doesn't allow you to jump around to see where you want to look at. Maybe if you want to jump directly to 1,000,000 on the X and the Z. That is very different on chunk base. Chunk base doesn't show you where you spawn in. It doesn't actually show you the world spawn and so on. So if that's really important to you, this is not very useful. However, you can filter your biomes. So for example, if you want to know just where deserts are, it allows you to just look at deserts. If you want to know exactly where perhaps a jungle is, it will give you just the jungles. It allows you to find the things just that little bit more simply. It will also allow you to jump directly to a specific coordinate like that. So there is a big advantage for chunk base, and as a result, I think I slightly prefer it. Now I'm going to use chunk base, but as I say, you could use Mine Atlas if you prefer, because graphically it does look that much nicer. We're going to try and find a seed that I'm going to really like to build in, and let's just crack on by finding some random biomes and seeing what they look like. Now, things that I'm going to be looking for are large expanses of land but with a nice coast. So here, for example, this is very deserty, but this part is quite nice. This part here, if you see here, we've got dark forest, we've got forest here, we've got birch forest. There's not a lot of plains. I like to build in plains, so perhaps this one is not so good. So we're looking for something with sand nearby, a lot of plains, but plenty of wood, and maybe some other resources like mesa and jungle close by. Let's just have a bit of a roll through and see if we can't find something. Now this one is actually really quite interesting. So we've got here, you can see we've got this really great looking mesa with the ocean on the side. We've got desert close enough, we've got jungle here, and then we've got things like a taiga, giant taiga there. We've got dark forest, we've got normal taiga, we've got mountains. This is an interesting seed. Now plains, however, don't seem so obvious. So let's see if we can find the plains, which is this colour. And you can see where we come in on 0, 0, the plains are right on top of us, and we've got a number of plains there. Let's just get rid of that filter. You can see these are the plains, these light greens. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to investigate this seed before I choose it for a survival world. And the way I do that is by jumping into creative. So I've come into Minecraft and I'm starting a creative world. I've called it creative test, and then the Minecraft seed that we've just found. I'm then going to go to more world options, and I'm going to put the seed number in that seed generator. I'm going to leave everything else as it is, and then I'm going to create this world, and we're going to take a look at that in game. Now we've come into a creative world here, and you can see we are surrounded by the forest that we would have expected to be in as a result of that seed when we did the last look. I've also done 2 game rules, a do daylight cycle being false, a do weather cycle being false, and have set the time to 6,000. That means that the sun is always directly above us, and we're not going to get rained on, and it's not going to turn nighttime, so you're not going to get interrupted by things and not be able to investigate properly. And we can have a good look around and see whether or not this seed is something that we like. Also, if we bring in an F3 screen, we can see exactly where we've spawned in from a seed perspective, because remember, chunk base doesn't tell us that. So we know that we've signed in at X200 and Z minus 182. It's very nearly 0, 0, but it's not quite. So let's just have a really close look around. Questions you want to ask yourself: do you want to be building at your world spawn point, or do you want to be walking a little bit off? Because sometimes if your world spawn is where you live, it's always loaded, and if you build farms there, that's no good, because you might create yourself some lag. You might want to walk 1,000 or so blocks and use absolutely nothing around the world spawn other than to use it for some resource gathering. This would be really good, for example, for resource gathering wood and terracotta. So you need to make decisions as to what's important for you within your Minecraft world. So if I come this way and we just start to uncover a little bit of the seed and see whether or not it is going to be suitable for what we want to do. Now here you can see if we wanted to build near our seed, then frankly this might not be good enough because we've got this big old mesa here, we've got this big old forest here. We are not exactly replete in the plains biomes, and plains are often the best places for you to be building in. We do, however, have some really nice dark forest. We've got some things opening up a little bit here in the hills. The mountains are quite interesting, and you just need to decide whether or not this is going to suit you. Perhaps here, this little plains biome would be perfect for what it is you want to do. You need to make these decisions, and if once you've seen the seed in real life, it's not working for you, just go back into Chunkbase or into Mine Atlas and start the process all over again. Everybody's need for a seed is different. Perhaps you want to make a expansive town, a bit like I did on Avomance with towers outside of a citadel. Maybe you want to make just a little tiny farm with 100 massive big automated farms all around you to get as much resource as possible. It's entirely up to you of what you want to do, and each seed will be entirely down to your own personal taste. But this way you can get any seed you actually want, and with a survival world it is often really worth the effort to make sure that seed is exactly perfect for you. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you haven't done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.